Okay, so just going through it, the secret is now a paid item. The skin is now a free item. Grimace is underwhelming. Pumpkin Greatsword is underwhelming, but I love the theme. I just wish it was closer to Terraria's version of a Greatsword. Terraria had a villain or a boss called Pumpkin Lord. It wasn't a boss; it was like a wave enemy, but it would drop a pumpkin greatsword, and it had an orange blade, it had a leafy handle, and it was a lot more designed. If we got that as our pumpkin greatsword, it would look amazing, and it would be deserving of being a secret, and it would be way better than Grimace, like incomparably better than Grimace. So I wish we could have seen that. Or if you're going to have something a little bit less like cheesy, then doing a Grim Reaper scythe would have been amazing, or like a scarecrow sword or something a little bit more menacing than just, oh, it's an axe, it's a mace with a pumpkin. So kind of a miss. There's a lot of cool Halloween things that they could have made that would have been amazing and people would have loved it to death and wanted like S grades of it, but this is just bad. So that being said, I think Skinwalker Blade is by far the best item, and I do think it is actually pretty cool. It's nice to have little hand sights. We've never had that before in Death Ball. I like the theme of hand sights, the small ones. So it's cool. It's also kind of like an axe, so it depends. Depends how you view it, but very cool item. This does have a really nice effect on it in game. So I recommend getting Skinwalker out of everything weapon wise for the spooky stuff. But going into what actually matters, so actually, we'll save the best part for last. We'll go to the pose back next. So there's two new poses. I'm fine, which is a mythic. Again, you probably want a themed avatar and themed weapon that fit. If you just put this on something that doesn't work, it's going to look really stupid. If you have the handle of a scythe going through your chest, it's going to look dumb. If you have, you know, the middle of Blazehead going through your avatar, it's going to look stupid. There's a lot of dumb things you can do with it. So it might be funny, but it'll look stupid on a lot of avatar weapon combos. So this is going to be a more niche pose than Crowned. I do think it's cool, but you've got to make a design around it. Someone put this pose on their demonic and had it going through their chest. I thought that looked really nice. So if you have a demonic shadow, this is one of the nicer poses as far as like something edgy to fit demonic. That's an option. That being said, I don't think anyone's really going to use this in comparison to the other pose. It is nice, but it's not a pose that works with everything. You're going to have a specific avatar and weapon that it works on that you would use it for. The main pose that you're going to all care about is they essentially made a headless version of Serenity. So, if you like Serenity as a pose, but you want it a little bit nicer, that's kind of what head off is. Now, the head being on your hand is a little weird, so it might not look good on some avatars. If you have like a scarecrow avatar or a headless horseman one, it would look nice. You have to have something that fits, or like a skeleton would look nice. But if you just have your random avatar that's like cutesy and has hair on it, it's gonna look really stupid. So just you gotta kind of make avatars to make these poses work. I think they're very cool, but you've got to plan your outfit and your weapon to match them, which nothing wrong with that. I like having that kind of stuff in the game, but something like stand is just a better pose for most weapons. So just keep that in mind. I do think they're very nice. As far as pricing goes, head off should be insanely cheap, and I'm fine. I would not pay more than 500K for. People are going to overcharge and probably want 2 or 3 million until it goes down, but it'll go down pretty quickly. So don't worry about it too much. Just lowball until it works. I wouldn't. Don't overpay for this. It's not worth your time. Briefly going to say standard. Uh, Again, they're all still around the same price. Nothing really new there, but I'll just update. It's for since we're doing it. Also, so Eclipse X I think is a bad weapon. Uh, Again, I've been playing since the like way before the pack was in the game, For the two people that like Eclipse X, I'm not sorry. Your weapon is stinky and poo poo. Um, Eclipse 3 and 4, ugly as hell. Eclipse 2 and 1 are also ugly as hell. Eclipse 1, a few people use as an emerald sting copy. So that's the only value that really has. Eclipse 2 is just ugly. If you have Eclipse 3 and 4, always trade your Eclipse 3 for someone else's Eclipse 4. More people always like Eclipse 4. It's just a nicer looking weapon. Uh, again, these aren't really swords. I just call them like pokey sticks. So people like the edgy version of the pokey stick more than the P yellow. So if you get the P yellow one, trade for this. If you get this one, either sell it or complete the set. Again, if you're going to spend money, wait till all of these items go up after they're removed. If you're an investor, I would buy a completed Eclipse X set. I would not try to buy the parts and assemble just because it's a pain. If you find parts for really, really cheap and you want to, your choice, but it's not really worth the hassle. I would say just look for Eclipse X really cheap and buy it. As far as do you invest hundreds of millions in this, I would skip. Eclipse X demand is always pretty low, so I wouldn't be selling out for Eclipse X. If you have Blood Demons, if you have Divine, if you have Cyber or Inferno, I would hold every single one of those items. There's no reason to sell out for Eclipse X. If you have a Divine and you want to sell out for Eclipse X, you will probably make a little bit more money than how Divine is slowly recovering. But if you don't want to deal with the hassle, just holding a Divine Shadow is always going to be fine in the current market, I think. So Divine will probably go up to 70 mil, and then the alternative is maybe you could buy Eclipse X's for 15 mil and they'd slowly go up to like 25. So up to you. If you get a good offer on your Divine, you can do it. As far as like chicken goes, chicken is just bad. So it might go up. If you hold it, if you have it still, I would say you might want to hold it to see if it goes up over the next couple days. If it doesn't go up though, I would probably sell it and look for cheap Eclipse X's. I just think chicken's a really ugly item and no one's gonna want it. So I expect it to go to like 60 mil at best, just because it's hideous. Uh, Nothing really new in any of those packs, so we're not going to cover them. This is the reason that any of you are going to play this update that are traders. So I saved the best part for last because this is essentially what makes the update good. They have the cost of getting a mythic. So on average, it's going to be 6.75 million per mythic, not including luck boosts. And the pity is going to be at 15 mil without VIP or 13.5 mil with VIP. So that is a hell of a lot better than Inferno, where it was 12 million on average for a mythic, and I believe it was 24 million for pity. I might be wrong on that, but that's the number I remember. So if someone remembers and I'm wrong, correct me, but the pack's cheaper and it's going to take you a lot less time to get to your mythics. So your luck potions will go much farther and there's going to be a lot more of them in circulation because the same amount of time people would take opening packs, it won't be as big of an issue. If someone is willing to sit here and spam open amethyst packs for an hour, they're going to get a ton of them. So don't worry about it too much. Amethyst should drop really low. As far as these packs go, I would say you always roll when Amethyst is focused, never when these two are focused. As far as the godlies go, if you're if you're picky, I would say wait till Azimuth, Black Nietzsche, Evolved Scissors, or Yellow Nietzsche are in rotation. Kameki Blade's bad, Ember Heart's bad, Crimson Claws is bad, and then the rest are fine. Like it's okay. Personally, if you're gonna go pure value, you go for Black Nietzsche or Evolved Scissors because just the most by far. But up to you. Again, keep in mind where things are. Look at the prices before you open. But you're always going to be putting an amethyst here first. Whatever you put in this slot or you're willing to open in this slot is kind of up to you. Highest wrap is generally my recommendation, but Azimuth Sword I just personally love, so I would open now if I had the gems, which I don't. I'll get into why I spent all of my gems in the next video, but that's for tomorrow. But this change is really good as far as pricing goes. I'm guessing S Amethyst is going to be somewhere between 150 and 300 mil. It's not going to be 500 million for an S Amethyst with Pose. There's no way. As far as Gemblade and Olympus, generally these are considered the trash items of the pack. So Last Oath might go as low as like 20 mil because of this update. Uh, Probably not, but probably it'll go around like 30, but we'll see. It could go as low as 20 if Olympus gets stupidly cheap and people just gamble the hell out of Olympus and don't care. Gemblade, I mean, stable pose is more hard to find than expensive or deserving of a lot of money. So, Gemblade owners typically just overcharged because it was so hard to find a Gemblade for cheap. So, now that S Gem will be affordable and easy to find, they won't really get the same overpay that they did. They had a massive demand advantage because there were so few in circulation that could be traded. So it died. S Amethyst is going to be kind of the same. The item gets so much cheaper with this update that, the pose should drop a good chunk. But again, most of the value for any of these items will be in the pose. The actual S grade sword will be pretty cheap. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can buy the base S grade sword for Gemblade and Olympus for like 50 mil, and Amethyst would probably be like 50 to 100, is my guess. Or it might even be cheaper because some of the Inferno items were as low as like 55, at least that I heard about. And again, I bought two S Blazes for 70 last update. So realistically, you're going to be able to get the base swords S graded without their poses for dirt. So this is a very good update for investors as far as just sell out to gems, heavily invest in Oblivion, and you'll make money. So again, try to get as many of them for as cheap as you can, but it's a really good opportunity and you should be actively trading to try to take advantage of it. So I'll probably cover after I've invested into it, but I'll cover my investments and what I've been doing in the video tomorrow of more of why I spent the 400 mil, which it'll make sense soon. So that's it for today. Have a good one.